Hello, fellow classmates and Dr. Edwards. This is Tabitha Hughes, and I am going to do my video discussion board post for this week on Walt Disney. The reason I chose Walt Disney is because I am what one would affectionately call a Disney nerd, or a Disney adult, or a Disney adult nerd. And that I love all things Disney. Disney World is my happy place. And one of the places that maybe I will retire and work at as a popcorn seller on Main Street. Who knows? But I digress. So I chose to discuss Walt Disney in the post-world 20th century because of his contributions to the entertainment world. Disney is a billion-dollar company today that started off with one man's vision and a very humble beginning, with several missed opportunities in terms of companies that Walt had created that then ultimately didn't succeed. So one of the things in this week's reading that stood out for me was in the article, How Technical is Technology Research? And one of the things that the author said was that studying new technology can feel very risky. Certainly good research usually feels risky, but because little is presumably known about new technology, it is often hard to say which technological features will have lasting importance. When I thought about that quote in relationship to Walt Disney, I really came to understand what a risky endeavor Disney undertook to create his vision and to make his vision into a reality. He came out of World War One, having served in the military. He was always interested in art, drawing, comics, and so he went into those fields in a couple of small companies where he was from, and he met one of his fellow animators there. The two of them tried a couple of times to create successful companies, but ultimately the animation studios they created did not work, which prompted Walt Disney to move to Hollywood. And there he really began the creation of what we would now call Walt Disney World, Walt Disneyland, just the Walt Disney Empire. He was able to convince his brother Roy to give him some capital, and they started what it was originally called the Disney Brothers Company animation studio. They would have some success working with Universal Studios on a character, Oswald the Rabbit, but then, just as with many young people and young entrepreneurs or actors or musicians who find themselves in the clutches of Hollywood, they would find themselves in kind of a moment of disillusionment when they realized that several of their animators were kind of stolen away by Universal, and that Universal ended up ultimately owning the rights to Oswald the Rabbit. But rather than Walt Disney allowing that to completely derail his dreams, he went on to create what we now know as Mickey Mouse. And the rest, as they say, is kind of history. Not easy, but definitely history. Walt was full of ideas and dreams, and so the Disney brothers went on to change the name of the company to Walt Disney Productions. Walt was a very savvy businessman, and he opened several minor businesses, but all linked back to his major business. He and his brother Roy decided to create their own production company called Buena Vista, and with Steamboat Willie's success, and then the success of Snow White during the Great Depression, things began to really look up for Disney and Walt Disney Productions. Again, it took a good bit of time. Some of the films didn't do well, not because they weren't great films, but just because they were expensive to make, such as Cinderella or Fantasia or Bambi. But as he continued to find success, then Walt Disney kind of had this grand idea of creating an amusement park, but not just any amusement park, because he felt like amusement parks were dirty, and he had based that on his visit to Coney Island. He wanted to create a family oriented theme park that families could do together. And so that's how Disneyland came into be. So if we're talking about people who have influenced the economy and just the culture of America since the post World War II era into the modern era, I can think of no better entrepreneur, um, inventor, engineer than Walt Disney. As a matter of fact, his artists and cartoonists are called Imagineers for a reason. So he embraced television and movies, and they just bought Marvel recently, and so they are now the biggest, um, basically the biggest entertainment production company, um, powerhouse in the world after their purchase of 21st Century Fox. And I'm going to leave with a couple of my favorite quotes by Walt. Walt Disney was very much a dreamer. And so many of his quotes are about your dreams and not giving up. One of them says, "If you can dream it, you can do it. All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. And don't let your fears take the place of your dreams." So I definitely think Walt Disney is a model when it comes to setting the example of if you can dream it, you can do it. Thank you.